With only 2 days remaining here in the round of 32, it's do or die for today's players, especially for Golden, as this could be his last appearance in the Premier League. But looking to stop him are a Pole, a German, and a Frenchman here for the World Championship Series Europe Premier League with myself, Kyle Aris, alongside Apollo.
That is right. Nurcho, Daishi, and KrasS are the chosen ones here, the resident European professionals looking to bring down Golden. Can they do it in advance for themselves? Or are we going to see Golden shoot to the top like he did last season, where he was able to get that top 4? Which way will it play out?
Well, let's take a look at how the round of 32 has unfolded so far. We've already had 6 groups conclude, with surprises as ever.
Yeah, as you can see, the top 4 groups there, we had a lot of weird results coming in because the players with the boxes are players from Premier League last season. The last 2 groups, though, as expected, we've had 2 Premier players just move through once again. The one big surprise, though, has to be Jack G in Group E. 2 days left. We have 12, almost said 14, but 12 players through to the round of 16. 4 slots available over the next couple of days. Today and Tuesday next week.
All right, so without further ado, guys, let's get into today's group, Group G. 2 players going to be looking for spots number 13 and 14. And where we start off with a guy who, more than ever before, I would say, more than any other player in the round of 32, wants and needs his advancement here. It's Golden.
That's right, because if you do not know, Golden announced his retirement last year, pretty much, to end at the end of 2014. In December, this is the last season in Premier League, the last real run for Golden. We'll see if he can go well. Last season, he debuted into the Premier League. He got a top 4 finish. Will he drop out instantly in his next season?
Our second Zerg, though, on the way for Group G. He's a previous non-Korean hope. He's always been relevant in the European scene and is looking for his 4th consecutive round of 16. It's Nurcho.
Yeah, Nurcho is avoiding Protoss, I think we can say today. He hates playing against Protoss. He always gets drawn with Protoss players, but he's avoiding them today. And I'm feeling very confident for his advancement from today's group.
And third, a Terran, hailing from France, who's made himself a mainstay in the Premier League. It's Daishi.
Yeah, Daishi, a great personality, a fantastic and fun individual as well. We'll see if he can advance from today. He had a massive result at Home Story Cup 9 earlier this year, but he's without the big results in the Premier League. He's just got back from holiday. Is that going to affect his performances today?
And lastly, we have, of course, our wild card, a young German who keeps having great stabs at international tournaments, but not making it to those upper echelons. It's KrasS.
Yeah, KrasS, 3rd time in Premier League, but he is 0-8 in the times that he's played before. This being his 3rd time. He's played in the round of 32 twice, he's lost twice, and has never taken a map off anybody when we come to this stream and this stage. Maybe tonight he can finally get that single map win, or he can actually make history for himself.
Hopefully, hopefully. All right, let's take a quick look at how things are going to be shaping up tonight here in Group G and how the matches are going to be unfolding.
Yeah, the second game of the evening will be Daishi taking on Nurcho. I'm really looking forward to that. Daishi's known for his very good Zerg versus Terran, or Terran versus Zerg, should I say. Nurcho's just a great player, and it always has been for 4-5 years now in StarCraft 2. But our first game of the evening is going to be Golden versus KrasS. They go up against each other, and KrasS, who's without a win, is going up against Golden to start us off here. Of course, this is going to be a traditional bracket, as you know, but here is Golden.
Yeah, Golden, he's done pretty well in terms of this matchup. I would say it's his actual best matchup during WCS so far. So he's found himself in a good group, I feel.
Yeah, I definitely feel that he's a favorite with Nurcho, in my opinion, to go through as top 2 tonight. Definitely the player that everybody's looking to take out. But will he be able to take... Who will take him out, should I say? I think this guy, maybe. I've heard a couple of rumors, and he's been practicing for weeks on end now, purely against Zerg in preparation for today's game. He's been practicing one-on-one with a high-level, well-respected European Zerg, which I will not name, as I'm not sure if he wants to be named or not. But he's ready for tonight. He's been practicing versus Zerg. He's got 2 Zergs in his group. This could be his day. Yeah,
it could, especially since his win-loss ratio against Zergs is actually, again, his best matchup in WCS when he comes to... He doesn't have that much good results against Protosses, against Terrans. It's not that great as well. It's really his versus Zerg that does shine. So I think if KrasS actually has an opportunity to move through, this is a good group for him.
Yeah, I feel he could advance from today's group, maybe with a bit of luck on his side. As everybody knows, when you play in Premier League, you do need a little bit of luck on your side, and often it's given.
Yeah.
When you cross your fingers, it's often given. But this is going to be a cool game, I think. KrasS versus Golden. Golden with such a strong performance last season, that top 4, wonderful performances. Never looked dominant, I'd like to say. always squeezed through his groups. He was second place in the round of 32, second place in the round of 16, squeezed through the round of 8 to where he played in the semifinals, unfortunately losing out versus San. They had a magnificent series versus Vortex in that quarterfinals, 3-2 in favor of Vortex. But I think he's, as mentioned before, a clear favorite to advance through. Definitely top 2 here.
Yeah, I think so. Especially with, again, this being one of his last tournaments. He's going to be hungry for this, definitely. Anyway, countdown has begun. We're going to be getting into game number 1 in just a second. King Sejong Station will be our map to start things off. A lot of TVZ action today, which I'm looking forward to. I mean, we've had a lot of Protoss in the past couple of seasons.
Premier League has been loaded with Protoss, but we have a Protoss-less group today. And I'm really feeling that the preparation from the Terrans is going to come out on top today, depending on how the level of preparation's coming. With the recent Flash domination, with the recent surge of Terrans doing well again, there is a lot of tricky plays and tricky builds that Terrans have up their sleeve now to catch the Zerg off guard, to get an advantage early, and then if their mechanics and their practice is actually paying off, where they're playing good and strong, it's easier to finish the Zerg off later on. But that's the thing I'm going to be looking out forward for here, is what is KrasS doing in the early game? Does he have any tricks up his sleeve? What is Golden going to do in reaction, and does he even spot it in the first place?
All right, let's get into it then. Game number 1 of the day, as we have, spawning up to the top left-hand corner, it's our red Zerg. Representing Alien Invasion, it is Golden. And down to the bottom right, we have our blue Terran. Representing NRS, it's Mr. KrasS.
All right. King Sejong Station, the perfect map to start off the aggressive, different types of openers that Terran have here. Simply because in the middle of the map, you're not going to have any overlords. It's going to be very difficult to spot an attack incoming. It's the perfect map to start this one off for.
And I wasn't expecting that.
Well,
oh, okay.
It's a supply depot in a very interesting spot here.
Yeah.
He's decided to throw it as part of the wall here. This is very, very uncommon. It's always at the top of the ramp here. For example, if there were any rushes or any spawning pool builds, or spawning pool early builds, should I say, is that you want to be able to have that wall being built right on the ramp here. But KrasS is exposing himself early to gain the benefit here of having the supply depot as part of the wall, which, if you think about later on, you want to be able to wall that off with supply depots anyway.
Yeah.
So he's starting that very, very early, but risking himself here a little bit.
And there is a good look. Have fun from Golden. Golden on the other side of things right now. Wouldn't be surprised if he actually went for a hatchery first. He is already sending that drone down now. But for me, whenever I watch KrasS, he's always been a very, very stylized individual. He's always had his own little style. He was very, very good and meticulous about multi-drop pressure and being able to hit that hard and do better than anybody in the German scene, I would say, with that kind of play. But it didn't quite stack up to the international level. So we'll see if he's going to be able to hit it home here in this group.
Well, the funny thing is with Terran versus Zerg, unlike a lot of the other matchups, it's mostly mechanics that you need to have to be a very good player in this matchup. You need to be able to produce a lot of units. And of course, on the top of building a lot of units and having the production down at the right time, you have to be able to micro well.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need to be drop heavy, like in MMA, for example. You don't need to be driving your opponent crazy. But if you're able to build a lot of stuff like Flash, for example, is obviously the prime example in recent times, and then you're able to split well, force the Zerg to attack you off his creep, and then you're going to win fights, quite simply.
Yeah.
And that's where the majority of Terran wins are going to come from. So depending on the level of practice, as mentioned before, from what I've heard, KrasS has put a lot in. As long as nerves don't get to him and he plays out what he's practiced, he should be looking good against the Zergs today.
You bring up a good point, though, about nerves, because we have seen KrasS crack in the past. He's not exactly as well an experienced player as someone like Golden, who has been at higher positions in tournaments. So for KrasS, Premier League's a big deal. This is his biggest stage he has ever played on, really. He's been here a few times, but he hasn't quite attained extra positions past the round of 32 that he really, really wants. So he can't crack today. Cannot crack.
Well, 6 slings have been made here by Golden, and this is just a buffer for the Reaper, just to buy enough time, or buffer for the Queens on the Reaper, should I say, to make sure you get the Queens out, to make sure you don't take any losses here. Circling speed has been researched here. KrasS has not spotted that. It is something you'd like to know as a Terran in this position.
Yep, can't really get in too easily. Might go around and try and go through the main in that little ledge, but it'll take a little while to get around there. And if he's expecting something like speed, he doesn't want to be hanging around too quickly, but third command center's on the way already for KrasS, and it has barely just been spotted here by Golden, so he knows what he's playing against.
Yep, he knows 3cc opener here. It's the weakness of having the command center on the wall here, but it is a faster wall off in case there was an attack. And with knowing that you're playing against 3Cs like this, you do not need to worry about those aggressive openers that I talked about before that could come through the middle of the map. There's no starport down, there's no rush starport, there's nothing like that, the kind of Marine Hellion type of play. So Golden's going to be free to drone. The only thing he needs to worry about is when the Hellions come into play, which is going to be soon, of course. This is a good position and a nice free zone here for Golden.
But the Hellions should be coming at a pretty standard time for him, so he'll be able to, you know, ward himself nicely. It's not like he hasn't played against it 100 times.
Right.
As Golden now bringing down these rocks at the back, trying to open up opportunities, possibilities. If you can get creep spread down that path as well, that really, really helps out.
I mean, what are the Lings doing apart from killing rocks if they weren't killing the rocks? Nothing. They're just sitting around. So it's good to break down these rocks. You're going to want to creep spread, and that's probably where your fourth base would like to be as well. So
yeah, definitely, definitely. A very nice angle to be able to take it. And then ultimately for a Terran, it's difficult to bounce around from those two locations.
The Roach is not standard, though, and it's in a position where it's hidden.
It's not like in a wall or anything.
Yeah, this is not as normal as you'd expect here. And with a lot of overlords being built, we're going to see a lot of roaches being built too. And he's going to try and capitalize on this greedy opening, which he has spotted the double engineering bays in the wall as well.
Oh, wow.
He may commit to a Baneling Nest with this as well.
That double eBay must have been like why he has thrown this down, right? I mean, he saw the command center early on and was like, well, yeah, okay, that's cool. But double eBay, that's a real trigger here.
Well, the thing is, the Roach was thrown down before the eBays.
Ah, was it?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
He saw the 3cc and then just wants to try and go for it anyway here. There's the Link production and Roach production. This is going to be very important here for KrasS to scout. But how is he and when is he going to scout it?
Well, he'll eventually see it with the Hellions, but by that time, the Roaches will be marching across, and what will he really have there? A few more Hellions, a few Marines? Not too much.
Yeah, and there's no bunker at all, right? So everything in KrasS's build is perfect, timed to what he's trying to do here. But he is limited on production, limited on units, simply because he went for the 3cc and then the double engineering bay here. And Golden has shown his Roaches. Bunkers in multiple numbers need to come down now.
Yeah, Baneling Nest's on the way behind this as well, so this wall is going to get busted down. It's a strong wall, that being said, but I mean, it really, he's limited by how many units he has. He only has 8 Hellions, 2 Marines.
Stim is 25 seconds away. There's even a bunker on the high ground here. If KrasS holds this, he would be in decent position, depending on if the engineering base die as well. But in terms of recovery from economy, with 3 command centers, it's good. 1 Marauder out, 2nd on the way. Bunkers will complete just in time.
He really wants to try and break this down.
Pulling the SCVs away as well.
It's so good, actually, with the positioning of the supply depots. If he breaks down through there with the Banelings, then there's not much room for him to actually move through with the Roaches. He's going to try and take down that angle. And, well, it's all a bit of a cluster here.
Good Hellion control so far.
Yeah, trying to kind of narrowly push these through a small gap, but they do break through eventually. Take down one of the bunkers.
Widowmine on top of the ramp here as well to help out.
Ooh, SCVs take a lot of damage from one of those Banelings. Those Roaches trying to get through. There's one more Baneling there that could, if it goes through, can actually do a lot of damage. And the Lings, he wasn't actually repairing that bunker.
Yeah,
GG.
Game 1 in favor of Golden there. A good old classic Roach Baneling attack takes out the greed opening of KrasS. So that's a shaky start here for KrasS because coming into it well practiced and well ready to go, and then just to be up boop, like that and not even get into rhythm and get into motion of what you've been practicing is definitely going to throw him off a little bit. Or let's hope it doesn't, but it does to a lot of people. And Golden just, you know, nails a well-executed push.
Well, in the end,
simple as that.
I guess for KrasS, he has to either take 2 options, right? He has to either open as greedy as he did, or try and hide that greed a little bit better, I guess, with the Overlord being able to see everything
Or
at the
simply try to
front.
be a little bit more aggressive with his scouting, with his Reaper and Hellions, right? That's another way to do it too. So those 3 things, very important for KrasS coming into the next part of the series.
All right, well, KrasS needs to make the recovery here. Golden takes a quick lead. Very fast, actually. We're not even 12 minutes into the broadcast, but there you go. So Golden shows us how it's done. Golden's not going to mess around.
15 minutes into the broadcast, class, because of 3 minutes delay.
Yeah, you're right.
You've given the secret of television away.
Darn. Oh well, I shouldn't have quoted the time. But Merry-Go-Round's our next map between these 2 guys, and Golden in the end, I don't know. Like I think he means business with that game and just saying, right, KrasS, get out of the way. If he does the same again, if he just goes completely gun-ho, then it's gonna be difficult.
Merry-Go-Round is a map that he can do that. It's, this map's actually pretty good for tearing the longer it goes, because it's actually a pretty decent macro map here. For example, Zerg trying to take a 4th base is going to be more spread away. If they try to take the middle of the bases with the elevated area that Terran can abuse with drops and tanks.
Yeah.
So I do like this map the longer it goes for KrasS. Before that, though, the ramp is wide, the 3rd base is exposed. So the earlier the game is, I do favor Golden, but the longer it goes, KrasS can turn it around.
All right. Well, looks like they're both ready to go. We are good to go as well, as KrasS has a little bit of a mountain to climb, because Golden make that look a bit easy, if I'm honest.
Yeah, well, he is the favorite, and he kind of played like the favorite too.
Yeah, he did. Just kind of really bringing it to his opponent very, very fast. Hellions weren't really able to do a whole lot, poor little guys. But now we're loading up onto Merry-Go-Round. So I'm expecting a 2-0 for Golden here, with what we've seen with the ability that he does show in these kinds of matchups. He had a top 4 last season. That's all important.
For Deutschland.
But you're believing in KrasS.
Yeah.
All right.
I've got my money on KrasS now.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. For this map or the series?
This map.
I was good.
This map. And then I'll think about it for game number 3.
The hopeful Apollo. All right, let's get into game number 2, as we need to regame. Okay. Yay. Congrats, KrasS. All right.
Oh, well, come back to us. Are you over your jet lag and latency issues, let's call it
Latency issues. In real life lag.
Yeah.
No.
No?
Still not. I don't know how I haven't recovered. It's actually
Are
the worst
you
it's
going to
ever
bed
been.
late, waking up early, or are you just generally sleeping a lot, or what?
I'm going to bed at my normal time.
Which is?
Like 12, 1.
Okay.
What's wrong with that? and then I, for some reason, sleep for like 12 hours, which is extremely unhealthy. So
maybe you're just sleeping a lot anyway. Maybe it's not.
Maybe my bed's just comfortable. I don't know.
Maybe your bed's just comfortable.
I guess so.
I'm back into the swing of things now, though. I'm eating well again. I'm back in the gym. I'm playing a lot of StarCraft again. I'm feeling pretty good again these last few days.
Good.
So it took a while, though.
Yeah. Well, I'm still not there.
I remember the days when I was traveling at the age of 17 and 18. This life was easy, but it starts to take your toll.
I don't know how I'm managing at the moment. It's pretty difficult. Like I can't recall a time where I've slept for so long and then you wake up and you feel terrible and I'm like, why have I slept 12 hours? It's really bad.
I think I remember reading on Stardust's Twitter that when he arrived back to Korea from Canada, he slept for 16 or 18 hours. I was like, how does
Surely,
that?
How does that be making this up?
He's not a guy to lie.
I know. That's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, so I mean,
Jeez.
it affects us all.
Yeah.
Some in different ways, of course. Okay, so we had to remake this one, so we're still waiting on that to be done. Unfortunately, there was a bit of a Battle.net problem, as you've seen in many a tournament before. Neither of these players have traveled anywhere, though, recently.
No.
Germany residents, both of them.
Yes. One in Deutschburg. I don't know where KrasS is, actually.
No, I don't know.
I know where Golden is, but not KrasS.
No idea where
He's
KrasS
told
lives.
me in the past, but because we assimilate a lot of information from day to day, I've forgotten. So sorry about that, KrasS.
Andreas, you can call him by if you want to.
Sorry, Andreas.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Approach him more personally.
Yeah.
In a more informal manner.
He's a really nice guy, is KrasS, actually. Whenever I meet him, he's so smiley and so friendly, and then he loses, and I'm like, no.
And then he loses.
But then he's still smiley.
Is that a descriptive part of his personality? He's a lovely guy. He's great. He's awesome. Then he loses.
Like, no.
I think I've met KrasS once. I'm not sure.
Okay, whereabouts?
I think I have.
DreamHack?
Maybe in these studios for like an EPS or something when I've been floating around. I don't think I've casted him at a live event before.
Trying to think where he would have been.
I do not know.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe
I've never met him before and I'm just making this all up.
Maybe we have game number 2. Let's go into it. As we have Merry-Go-Round our map. So let's jump on in. Spawning up to the top right. Currently 1 game down. Representing NRS, it is KrasS. And down to the south, we have our Red Zerg. Representing Alien Invasion, it's Golden.
Golden?
He really wants to play as yellow, but he's not allowed. I'm so sorry, Golden.
Yeah, sorry, mate.
Sorry, buddy.
Nothing else I can say there. Sorry. Yeah, so as mentioned before, Merry-Go-Round can be, quite good for tearing the longer it goes. I mean, if you just look at the middle of the map, or the triangular position that Golden has for 3 bases, like this is cool as a Zerg. You got this one, and then the other one just here. But then the fourth becomes more difficult because it's either all the way to the right, over there, if your opponent was on the left-hand side, but in this case, it's going to be all the way to the left, like really far over. This position's not possible to take, really.
Because of the
this one has to be taken.
One, yeah.
So your creep spread needs to be very good up that left flank. Your fifth base then becomes, where do I put it on the complete other side of the map? Because you don't really want to be taking these middle bases, because obviously the active forces of Terran are usually going to be around the Xel'Naga Tower.
Yeah.
Because they're obviously going to be in the middle of the map with their bases as well. Creep spread deny. Then you don't want to be taking fights where a single Medivac or two drops units on that high ground, and then the rest of the army's on the bottom. You actually would trade so cost inefficiently, the game could just end. So it becomes a problem the longer the game goes on, for sure. But big attacks like Roach Hydra or Roach Baneling, Ling Baneling Muta, just big waves crashing into the Terran third can sometimes be a little bit difficult for a Terran to hold. So that is, and the ramp, of course, as well for 2 base attacks is pretty decent too.
Yeah, there's so much area in this third location that normally Terran does want to expand like aggressively towards their opponent so they can defend and attack at the same time, but it is so open, so got to be careful about that. As Golden, he's already shown a few tricks up his sleeve in the first game, could happily do something like that again.
Yeah, definitely putting his opponent off balance a little bit here. But unfortunately for Golden, he has not scouted in the correct way with his Overlords. It's just really random, I suppose. Or not really, I suppose. I guess the second Overlord should always be going right here and the first one always left, because you want the second one to float around the natural maybe in case there was a 2 barracks.
Yeah, it's a good
point. And you
point.
can even notice through the middle of the map here, of the fog of war that is missing, that there was a check for 2 barracks in the middle. 3-player map, put it in the middle. You've got equal distances between all bases. That was checked.
And poor KrasS is not going the right way either with his Reaper. He didn't send an SCV out to try and spot around.
Yeah, so I mean, the 6 Lings aren't needed here because of the way that the Reaper's gone, unfortunately, here for Golden. But they could also be used to the other side of the map, maybe if they run right across. He might keep them, though.
Let's have a look what he wants to do. But aside from that, I wonder if he is actually going to bring out something aggressive. I think after he saw how quickly, after he saw how quickly his opponent was just taken down by that, he may do. Oh, Ling's prepared.
Oh my golly, nothing's wrong.
Close.
Yeah, Reaper down 15 hit points already. 1 Ling going over to the side, by the way.
But that being said, with that 1 Ling, he has to be wary. He saw 5 Lings nibbling away at his Reaper. Like, where's the other one?
Yeah. So the Marines should pop out, so it
yeah.
shouldn't be a problem at all. But he could get info. Just quickly check up, maybe. Boop. Oh, it's not even enough time, really.
Yeah, one died.
Okay, second gas has been taken. Barracks for the Tech Lab. At the moment, we're looking at Cloak Banshees. Hellion Banshee.
It's a lot of gas, a lot of gas.
Yeah, big switch up from KrasS compared to Game 1 to Game 2.
And the Reaper has to be shooed away.
Yeah, this opening from KrasS, much better against any type of all-in.
Yeah.
Very good against it.
Yeah.
The Banshees, obviously, there's nothing that can shoot up. The Banshee's going to get rid of the Banelings, therefore it's going to be hard to break any walls. So very, very good setup here from KrasS. Also very good against random Roach plays as well. Something like Vortex likes to do, or Hyun likes to do. Early Roach attacks and just Roach by themselves get shut down easily as well.
Yeah, so good kind of anticipation and accommodation for what happened in the first game here from KrasS.
Yep.
Just changing it up a little bit. And behind all of this, though, Golden has his third base on the way. There's only a few Hellions out
and a
right
very
now.
drone-centric opening here from Golden. Pretty fast third. Not a lot of gas in the bank to get his upgrades early, so he's focusing more on queens here. He's going up to 5 queens very early.
Like it.
So that can be good against Banshees if you have the detection. And the Overlord has spotted it now. So the first thing you want to be getting here, unless you're going to spread spread Spore Crawls everywhere, is actually going to be the layer.
Oh, he just switched completely.
Oh, what the hell?
What? He's like, nope, you've seen it. Nope, not even doing it.
And now he's gone over to just... Is he going to get a Viking now or what?
Command center? Is he just going to go back to super greedy?
Super normal. Yeah, I mean, he's got a starport. He's like, all right, whatever. But the reaction here from... Golden didn't do anything to adapt to the Banshee.
Yeah.
He already had 5 queens. That was already a part of his build. And the only thing he's got different is just the layer.
Exactly, so he can get detention that way. He's actually getting Spore Crawlers now, just being a little bit more careful. But, I mean, the Hellions moving out here. The Queen should be able to push this way. At least he's getting good creep spread on the map, which is really important on this map.
Yeah, but this opener definitely favors Golden. KrasS has slowed himself down quite a bit by going for the double gas of Starport before the 3 CCs and Engineering Bays. Slowed himself down, but it is 4 Spore Crawlers, no? I think? 4?
Yeah, I think so. He had 1 in the middle.
And late double evolution chamber, so there are, you know, good things and bad things with the way this has gone. The late double evolution chamber is going to mean that the 1-1-2-2 timing is going to be quite strong here for KrasS. But of course, KrasS doesn't quite have the economy that he would have had if he
5
opened up
overlords
normally. Supply block.
Okay, so decides to compensate with it with all of the overlords ever made in mankind, and this one Viking is going to start going to work. He only finds one overlord for now, though.
Late Baneling Nests, late Spire,
Double
late Evos.
There's the Spire.
But as you can see, 76 supply to 59, so it's still in favor of Golden. Just there are things that can help out KrasS the longer the game goes.
Yep, doesn't want these drones to get roasted. Runs those away.
Yeah, big Ling run around, but wall is cut off and walled off.
Yeah, shouldn't be able to do a huge amount. That being said, he only sees 5 Marines, but doesn't want to be really sacrificing a whole lot there. So pulls on back with his Hellions as well. Always knew that they'd be on the way. At least that did kind of jolt the Hellions a little bit to pull back for a sec.
Yep.
Get that creep spread going, man. Get that Viking.
There's going to be an opportunity here with the Hellions still alive, and Marines aren't high numbers, but with these first 2 Medivacs, because the Baneling Nest is so slow, it's only going to be Zerglings. So Hellion Marine against Zerglings is great. Maybe a couple of slow Banelings, but maybe you can target them down.
Yeah.
Depending on when the Mulists come out, there is an opportunity right now. Because of the way that KrasS has switched up his play, it's really messed with Golden's build.
And the way the Spire timed out, it wasn't like he was banking huge amounts of gas anyway, because he took his gases on his natural, and he doesn't even have them on his third just yet.
And he's decided to get Burrow as well, and he'll probably want to get Baneling speed pretty fast too, so there's not going to be really many...
it's a bit difficult, actually.
Dropping them down like this is going to be not as effective, obviously, because the Lings are in there before the Marines can drop out.
Yeah, already.
Together with the Hellions would have been the better option, but there's 36 additional Lings, so he's now fine. That opportunity's gone for KrasS, unfortunately.
Golden sees the third base drop landing, and Golden has actually also taken the base up to the top left on the high ground, so he must be super confident about controlling the middle of the map here with this creep spread, which, yeah, I mean, it's doing all right so far, and it'll keep on going. With Mulists now on the way. Yeah,
taking this very aggressive stance in the middle of the map here is definitely going to give benefits to KrasS with this space here. Really going to give it, if you can take good fights there.
And KrasS is doing really good in terms of macroing as well. He was a little bit supply blocked before, but right now he's doing all right. Keeping up with Golden.
Curse the caster here. He's going to be supply blocked again. 129.
Well, yeah. Oh, well. That's fine. Golden has been supply blocked too, so little mistakes here and there from both players, but as things iron out, looks like we have another drop on the way for KrasS, but it's already been spotted. Yes, it has on the right, but I don't know if he actually did see that. I guess he's going up here to defend
Mulist count's so low, only at 3, going up to 8.
Yeah, it's so low. Again, his gases just weren't the precise timing that he really needed them to actually fuel that once it popped.
Yeah, this drop's not going to really do anything, is it?
Don't think so. Cleaning up some of the creep, though, in the middle.
Ooh, 9 Lings, that's okay. And there, good creep in the middle. KrasS, a little bit low on SCVs, 57. That's actually a little bit low for 3 base.
Making a few
2-2 on the way, but not for Golden here. So this is actually pretty good for KrasS. There's a couple of things that are good for KrasS, but he's got to be careful in the middle of the map here, not to take any big losses.
Another supply block here for Golden. That's going to be hurting him whilst KrasS is now moving out.
Well, this is the problem that I told you can happen before. Clear the creep here, have access to that 4th.
Yeah.
He's going to have a decent advantage when 2-2 is done because of the timings and how this worked out. A counterattack by Golden, but it's going to walk into Marines anyway.
Yeah, there's plenty of
reinforcements. This is a very good position for KrasS.
Yeah, he can do whatever he wants at this location.
And here we go.
Just going to ferry some units up here. The Mutalisks trying to push this away, but again, it's Marines as well as a Widow Mine.
Yeah.
He's not reinforcing from the low ground too easily. There we go. Now a few of these units are going to shoot away.
And this should be the rally point, to be honest, of KrasS. Every unit should be over here. This is a big, big weakness of Golden. And if you can keep Golden off the gases on this base, he will not have the Baneling count he needs to tackle a big army, especially when 2-2 is done. KrasS needs to get his other army over there. It's actually very important for his game.
Yeah, and it's now moving. I hope he is bringing everything over here. The Banelings just walk in a line, kill off a bit of this army, but...
Yeah, should have lifted there. There's a couple of small things, clearly, but... Oh, look at this. Golden's like, God damn this guy. And he's actually attacking the 3rd. No bunker, no Marines, no nothing. All
right, then. Well, going for the straight-on counterattack. He actually did kill off that bunker before Whittlings, which is quite nice.
Golden, I mean, KrasS should take out this 4th base if he's going to just be over the other side. He needs to take it out. He cannot take losses and not do anything in return.
Yeah, a few Banelings are here, though. They will roll on forwards. Killing off quite a few Marines at the front, but he did stim back there and keep them alive. There's actually one Baneling there burrowed during all of that, so he does have to be careful. But he pushed back the third at his opponent's location. These Banelings hit really nicely on the Marines at the top.
Golden has destroyed so much when it comes to the SCVs on the other side, and has defended his fourth.
Yeah,
like that's the best move so far of the series. That's beautiful, and now Golden's in a wonderful position. He's got a great supply lead. His opponent's economy is bleeding. Unfortunately, as KrasS moved the rest of his army out, Golden went over, and he's doing it again.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult for him to really
KrasS has
defend.
got half his army not doing anything on that fourth, and unfortunately, when half your army is not active, you're going to get overrun.
Yeah, he can overwhelm, and even the Mutalisks, if they wanted to not take the army, they could take the command center. GG. Golden takes the first series of the day here in a pretty quick 1-2.
Yeah, it was a pretty fast game 1, game 2, quick 1-punch, 2-punch, and it's over like that, unfortunately, for KrasS. So, you know, he's poured in a lot of effort to fight against the Zergs, but Golden's still able to take the upper hand and win in a quite convincing fashion there. You know, an all-in in game 1, Roach bailing if you're just tuning in now, or to that type of game there, which is, you know, quite easy really for Golden. He's like, okay, well, you're holding me on this position with a lot of units. You're not getting a lot of damage done with a lot of units.
Yeah.
So, gonna just
What's back home?
That is all he did. He just went over there to the third, which was completely exploitable.
All right. Well, that does it for our first series, guys. Join us after the break when we're going to have our second TVZ. It's going to be Nurtio going up against Daishi.